Guys, my kid just started teething, and I am dying. Absolutely dying. But there is one little ray of sunshine, and that is my wife, his mother, taking care of him whenever I need her to. In fact, even when I don't, she just does it all by herself. She's an amazing mother. And today we're going to be talking about a film that highlights another amazing mother, played by the lovely Ann Sothern. And that film, of course, is The Killing Kind.
Oh, so much time lost. You could have made something with yourself, with your songs.
Maybe I'll write one about that shitty lawyer.
I know you didn't touch that, Tina. The other boys you were with, yes, but not you.
Filmed in 1973, The Killing Kind tells the beautiful tale of a young man freshly released from an unfair prison sentence, reuniting with his loving mother and going on a killing spree. Uh-oh. Yep, this is one of those flicks that you might go into thinking it's going to be some kind of gross, sick exploitation film. But in reality, it is in fact a scathing rebuke of murder boys. Gross little murder boys. I mean, it does sexually objectify the sick murder boy quite a bit. Because, that rockin' bod. But the point is, it does not like sick murder boys. And you know what? It has a good time with that distaste. And as opposed to what the cover might suggest, not a whole lot of rat stuff. I don't know why there's a rat scene, but I don't know why there's a rat on the cover. There's on the poster, I guess, but I forgot to get the Blu-ray. The Killing Kind. Yes. So, despite this, it's really not a very bloody movie, nor does it have a lot of rat stuff, but it does feature, there's a rat. And oddly enough, if I were to compare this to another film, it almost feels like a better made Willard, and like without all the animal stuff. It just, the way that it deals with a man and his mother issues and the time period, it feels like that kind of film. And fuck, it's so great, and it should have been so much more famous than Willard and other films of that ilk, of that period, but it was not, because it got fucked in distribution, and that makes me sad, because this right here is a great little film. Stay tuned to the end of this video, by the way. I will be suggesting a film to marathon with this movie. If you want to get into like a double feature, make a night of it, I will be giving you a little idea of what you might want to watch with The Killing Kind. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, what follows, the setup in this film, it's equal parts sweet, sick, twisted.
It must feel wonderful,
What?
being raped.
It's a tale of motherly love and toxic masculinity, including a scene of rape that, once you've seen the whole film, suddenly seems a little unlikely as presented. Ann Sothern and John Savage absolutely kill in this film. They are staggeringly good. Ann Sothern, of course, you could say that maybe she was starting to slum it a bit, but she puts in a performance that, if this was not totally sidelined in distribution, would have been one of the greats for the history books. And as it stands, it's just one of those things that we as cult film lovers get to share.
There was a good movie on television tonight. Too bad I didn't see most of it.
There was a VHS release back in the 80s, and there was a DVD release by Dark Sky Films in 2007, I believe. But really, this was never given the treatment it deserves. And that's too bad. Laverne and Shirley's Cindy Williams is also a bright spot, although I do question her character's final decisions. On one hand, I thought maybe it was all in Terry's head, but by the same token, I don't know that the film even presents that possibility. So maybe a bit of narrative failure there, but nothing too awful. She still puts in a good performance, and I think admirably fulfills her roles in the film. John Savage, by the way, not only does he kill it in this, but he kills it in a way that is shocking, because he wasn't even supposed to be in this movie. Originally, it was cast with a totally different actor. That actor bailed out at the last second, and the day before filming began, they cast John Savage, who is just an amazing actor. I probably know him best as the straight straight-laced guy from Hair, but he is, oh, mwah. He's put in some good performances. He's in Deer Hunter. But this is like just pure, you want to see John Savage just decimating it every minute he's on screen in the main role. This is it right here. So the Blu-ray itself, nice slipcover. This is all sold out, unfortunately. It's as good as usual. You get a little bit of embossing with the rat, but or raised, whatever. I'm not good at terminology. But the title is raised, as well as the "Did you ever want to strangle your mother?" Bit here. Beautiful artwork as usual, and of course you get your. I already switched this up, but you get the slipcover artwork on one side and the OG artwork on the other. Terry was great with the girls until they were alone, which is accurate, but the actual like strangling your mother thing, it's not quite there. It's a much more subtle film. You'd go in, I definitely went in thinking this would be like a really seedy movie. I was really worried when it started off with a rape scene, but then as it goes along, you really start to see that this is a pretty subtle, certainly twisted film, but one that has a lot of drama going on, one that has it's a bit more of a character study with murder. And that's always nice. And I love the relationship between Terry and his mother. The movie isn't quite as smart as it thinks it is, and winds up feeling a little thin, but Harrington's atmospheric direction and those two just masterclass performances easily make up for that. I've only seen stills from the Dark Sky Films release, but from what I can tell, it was actually a pretty good transfer, all things said and done. This is definitely much sharper, it retains a lot of the grain structure much better, and it's a little bit more saturated. There are a few shots in this transfer that are a little fucked up still. This one in particular is definitely the worst of it, and only stays on screen for a few seconds. Otherwise, there's little pops and blips and dirt things here and there, but it's a pretty nice transfer. I don't really have any serious complaints. Anything that is there is stuff that was too damaged for them to really do anything about, and that's fine. And honestly, like, damage doesn't bother me. These are old as fuck movies. If anything, it adds a little bit of charm to them. And I don't want to go into too many details with the plot, because if you haven't seen this, it should be a surprise for you, as it was for me. But just know that it's, film-wise, another great piece from the 70s that Vinegar Syndrome has put on disc. These are quickly turning into my favorites. I think most of my favorites at this point have been 70s films. There's a lot of packages that I've enjoyed from the 80s, like Spookies and Taming the T-Rex, where I really, really love all the work they put into them. But as far as like just films that are great without any like, a cult film or have nostalgia or whatever, as far as just great filmmaking, I feel like all the best ones are from the 70s. I wish they put out more stuff from the 70s. Unfortunately, they don't sell as well, which sucks, because this is phenomenal filmmaking from director Curtis Harrington, who of course was a bit of a mainstay with Roger Corman for a while. He worked with Kenneth Anger, but in this case, the print is mostly pretty clean. It looks fucking sexy. Oh, it's so fucking sexy. Overall, I'd say it's definitely an upgrade. Like, it's a big upgrade, but I'm happy to see that this film has had at least relatively good release for several years now, so that's nice. There is one interview ported over from that disc on here with Curtis Harrington. And you know what? Let's just dive into the extras. We get a 22-minute interview and a 24-minute interview, the latter of which, Harrington on Harrington, is actually just additional talking head footage from the Jeffrey Schwartz and Tyler Hubby short documentary House of Harrington. I haven't done a one-to-one comparison of the two, but if you're interested in learning more about Curtis Harrington, that documentary is freely available to you, so I highly suggest checking that out. But I think we get more information on this disc. I should have gone back and compared the two, but I suck at I suck at this. I'm bad. I'm a very bad person. Tell me in the comments how much I suck. It's the only way I can come. The only other extras include an isolated score, which helps you to really appreciate the work by composer Andrew Belling. And then there is a commentary by David Dakota and David Del Valle, or Del Valle? I always forget to actually pay attention to how he says his name. It doesn't matter. It's a very informative commentary. Both of them have experience with Curtis Harrington in some way, shape, or form. We get a lot of first and second-hand stories about the guy, including my personal favorite is the story of him at the Top Gun screening, which you just gotta hear it to to really appreciate it. It's quality stuff. You get just a lot of information. I don't want to really go into it in detail. There's stuff about Kenneth Anger. There's stuff about his other films. It's not really a scene-by-scene kind of commentary. It's very much just sort of career-spanning with a heavy focus on Harrington, with some miscellaneous thoughts about the film itself. Really good stuff. Really just solid entertainment right there. Of course, David Dakota, a filmmaker in his own right. And I love hearing about Harrington. He seems like a real character.
Right on the nose.
Overall, this is an absolute revelation. I really love it. You know, that's what I got to tell you. It has a few flaws. Definitely, the plot is a little thin at times. It doesn't go quite as far as it probably could, and I think winds up maybe not being as deep as it thinks it is. But that's a minor quibble. It's another shining 1970s film from Vinegar Syndrome, and I look forward to more from this period from them because it generally turns out in my favor. As I said at the beginning of the video, I really want to start putting forward other films that you might want to watch along with these, just to give you a little bit more out of these videos. For today's double feature, I highly recommend the 1961 film, also from Curtis Harrington, Night Tide, starring Dennis Hopper, who's very young, and just dressed in a sailor's outfit. So if that gets you off, then you're having a great time.
You certainly know the legend of the sirens who in ancient days used to lure seafaring men to their destruction.
Yeah, I've sort of heard of them.
So Night Tide is like if Val Lewton and Kenneth Anger fucked while watching Carnival of Souls. That's the best, most PG way I can put it. And this makes sense both with the time and influences, and for the fact that Harrington had previously worked with Kenneth Anger. There's lots of occult nonsense and homoeroticism, including a scene that I was honestly shocked was left in. Just look at it.
And how are you today, Bruno?
Oh, Captain, you want me to pound you later?
No, am I likely to forego a pleasure like that?
I don't know. So that's it. I highly recommend this release. The sale is coming up on Friday. Pick up The Killing Kind. It'll be a great addition to your collection, I assure you. Unless we have different taste, which, you know what, that happens. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on the Twitters. Comment below with your opinion. And yeah, until next time, go watch a movie. You know, it's nice. It's nice that I just have almost uniformly positive opinions, because I don't like saying negative things about movies. I love that we can just talk about movies that are great, that are fun, that just really rock our worlds, and we all can agree are good without talking about anything bad, or even worse, talking about something where I think it's bad and all of you really love it. That would be super awkward.